dun 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 dun. Hello everyone! Laymen live every Saturday. Well, every Friday night's for Americans, Saturdays for people in the future.
It's like midnight for Europeans.
It's something like
Late
that.
night munchies with Laymen, lol.
Oh yes!
Oh yeah.
Guys, our favourite thing to do every week. Massive dump instead of small dumps, okay? Now, what have I been doing this week? Now, I have been playing Overwatch. I've been playing Super Smash.
Hang on, you've been playing it on Switch. Is it out yet on Switch?
What?
Overwatch on Switch.
Oh, no.
Right.
I have bought it, though. I am looking forward to that. I've actually just bought Divinity Original Sin 2 on Switch for my Tokyo trip on Monday. Haven't played Borderlands yet. That's today and tomorrow. We're going to be probably doing impressions on Monday. That's Sunday American time.
Thanks for the time conversion, Sam.
Okay,
Very
I
helpful.
thought it was important.
Very nice. This week I played Greedfall. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, of course.
I was pretty much the only person on the internet that didn't like this game, it seems. Everyone else is like, you must play this game.
Actually, I saw some people were giving it semi-positive reviews. They weren't saying it's game of the year.
A lot of people were giving it very good reviews. I was the only one that was like, it's pretty good, but I probably don't recommend it.
I didn't mind it. It just, it was fine for me, I guess.
So my review comment section is a bit of a dumpster fire.
It's interesting.
It's spicy. So.
And what else have we done? We watched the Death Stranding thing.
You did?
Oh my god! Now that just looks like a giant meme. Looking forward to it. Looks great. I mean, kind of looks great.
A giant meme.
It does. Like,
it does not look like a giant meme.
He's walking around with a baby, and he's got like a donkey amount of like stuff that he's carrying around with him. There's going to be so many memes. You've probably already seen
we're seeing these squares on screen. Okay, now I see what you guys are seeing. Okay, that's super annoying.
Oh, so you're seeing the squares?
Yes, they are. Okay.
How do we not do that?
Well, I have to turn this off now, so move out the way. You can just talk to the stream, Sam, while I do this.
Hello, fam. It's just me now.
The stream is
How good is that?
I think the stream is literally going to see...
Hat hair reveal.
Nice, Sam.
What do you think? Guys, well, that sucks. Can you still... Let us know when you not see... Oh, is it gone?
It's now that the stream is literally going to see menu. Are they seeing black?
No, they're not.
What are they seeing?
They're seeing me. They're still seeing me.
Okay.
Just me dancing and shit. This is what you tune in for Laymen Live, everybody. Okay, we're always prepared, and we always know what we're going to do. Let's read some comments. Death Stranding. Okay, so what did everyone think of Death Stranding? I thought it was like a gigantic meme. I don't know what the fuck this game is, but I'm excited for it. Okay, I am excited for it. 50 minutes didn't tell us anything. $4.99. You have shield trackers enabled. You have shield trackers enabled? Oh, I like that. Very nice. But all in all, it looks okay. It doesn't look incredible, people, in terms of Death Stranding. It's gone. Okay, Raph, it's gone. Yeah. People are saying it's gone, no square.
Let me come back.
No, but I'm already here and we're not having that issue.
Yeah, it's back now, right?
Nope.
It's not back.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. This is why it was annoying, because like we organize. We organize all this shit, and then all of a sudden it just breaks. So it's like, cool, grats.
Okay.
All right, Square's gone. Fingers crossed they don't come back. Okay, hello everyone.
Speaking of Squares, it's Squarespace. that was the reason. Everybody.
That integration is over. So no more of those ads.
No more of those, sadly.
So okay, let's start getting straight into the news for the week. Actually, this is what I didn't say earlier that I was doing. I was playing Borderlands. So I played Borderlands most of yesterday. I played about 5 hours on stream, and then I played a little bit after that.
Live impressions.
Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty good.
Comment section. Oh my god.
I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, it's just more Borderlands. You know what I mean? And like, that's cool if you wanted more Borderlands, but I do feel as though, I'm feeling like it's a little bit of a missed opportunity. You could have done some really cool new shit with Borderlands, and this doesn't feel like any new shit at all has been done with Borderlands. It feels like exactly the same. Quality of life, shooting mechanics are way better. Graphics are definitely better. You can slide, which is cool, I guess. Cool. But like, it just functionally feels like identical.
It just feels like Borderlands. It makes you feel like Borderlands.
I had so many people come into my stream and they're like, is this Borderlands 2 or 3? Like they're non-ironically, legitimately asking me that.
Yeah,
and I think if that's happening, then I'm a bit like,
it'll be interesting for us to do our review or impressions because you're coming from playing all of them. I've played like an hour, I don't know, a very minimal amount of either Borderlands 1 or 2 ages ago. I'm not even sure. So I'm going to be coming from the point of view as a new Borderlands player. What do I think of this game? And you're going to come from the point of view of like you've played the other ones. How does it measure up to the other ones?
For sure.
So it'll be interesting. But that's all we have for Borderlands right now.
Well, actually, that's not true. The first story is Borderlands. Sam.
Oh, good. See, that was transition.
Well played, Sam.
That was it.
First story of today is that Borderlands is actually being review bombed pretty hard.
I mean, I'm blown away by that. Marketing was fantastic. Randy Pitchford, best mascot for a game ever.
Everyone loves the Epic Game Store.
Yeah,
no, it's just it ticks every box in terms of gamers' hearts and how to win them.
A lot of people when I jumped, because it doesn't have conversions, I jumped onto the Epic Games and I saw $60. I'm like, that's pretty fair actually. $60 and I'm like, God damn, that's like $100 for us Aussies, like $1,000 for us Aussies. But anyway, yes. So 4.7 user score. 85 Metacritic though, so like the critics, usually the critic and user score gets pretty close in some games. This one, definitely not.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, so there's obviously two things with this, why this score is occurring the way that it is. If you read through the actual reviews, a lot of people are just like, Epic Games bad, and they're like, fuck this, Epic Games, blah, blah, blah. That's to be expected. People always make their views felt when it comes to Epic Game Store. What I find actually quite surprising, though, is just the number of people that don't think it's good, or also, like, particularly PC optimization.
I've heard about that.
Now, I am playing right now on an RTX 2080 Ti, like, literally the best graphics card on the market.
The best graphics card ever, people.
That's right. And I'm playing at 1080p because I'm streaming it, and, like, basically, I can, like, do 1440 or whatever if I want to, but not much point when I'm streaming.
He's got so much power, like, whatever, but he'll just do 1080p.
My point is that even then, I'm getting very irregular frames. Like, I'm talking, it will sometimes be at around 120, 130 frames. Sometimes it drops as low as 40 frames for me. When it really heats up and there's like a lot of action, all that sort of stuff, it's very problematic. DirectX 12 at this point also is completely unusable because the loading times just go through the roof. There's definitely problems with this PC port. And that's, I think, what PC Gamer said when they did their review that was quite scathing of it. They had even more issues like crashes and bugs and all that sort of stuff. So the PC optimization thing, it feels like if you're playing on PC, you might want to wait 6 months, guys.
Yeah,
just as a thought.
Yes.
Wait for
I mean, we've had this issue before with other games where you've played on the 2080. I'm going to be playing on the 1080 Ti. And sometimes they potentially will optimize for a graphics card that they know a lot of people still have.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe when I jump on, I'm going to have a different experience. We don't know also if the... who were the people that were giving scathing reviews again? It was...
PC Gamer.
PC Gamer. Yeah, cool. Maybe they were jumping on and playing on the PC build with a 2080 Ti too. Or the 2080. Who knows? But the truth is, on Twitter, I saw a lot of people also saying that they were having issues with that.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing not everyone that's having issue has a 2080. I'm sure there's a lot of people that also have normal, current generation graphics cards
for sure
that are having these issues. So it'll be interesting. I really thought they would have like built for the PC, then not ported from the PC, but like that. I would have expected that to be massively part of their campaign to make sure that is just as good as their console.
Well, everything is baseline from consoles because they're the hardest to get them running well.
Really?
Right, yeah. So they build for consoles first, and then they kind of like put it to PC after that. Because unless it can happen on a console, there's no point in talking about it, you know?
Yeah.
So, look, either way, as I said, you know, and the other thing I think is some people are mentioning the writing as well. Like PC Gamer were like, the jokes suck, it's not funny, blah, blah, blah. I definitely laugh sometimes when I'm playing this. Some of the stuff has definitely been legitimately funny. Some of the stuff, though, has been like, it's okay.
And you've changed your opinion now, because when we were talking about this prior to launch, you were like, this is Borderlands, like this is the joke style, but you've obviously experienced it now and gone, oh, wait, I see. This isn't actually translating.
I feel like Tales from the
later.
Borderlands did a really good job of like taking Borderlands humor and also delivering something that felt pretty well written and fresh and quite crisp. Versus I feel like this sometimes, as I said, like 20-30% of the time, I'm legitimately laughing. And the other 70% of the time, I'm like, ah. And I feel like I wasn't doing that with Borderlands 2. Maybe because it was just fresher with Borderlands 2. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Versus now we've kind of...
You were younger then.
Before.
We're
all younger then.
You went 45
I was a young man. So anyway, look, that's Borderlands. The story continues. We'll have our impressions out soon. I'll do a full review on Shill Up pretty soon.
Yep.
You can expect other YouTubers / Twitch streamers or whatever to put out their reviews now that we actually have review copies.
Yeah.
Because obviously we didn't get those. But that's what's happening. So, from one meme to the next.
Oh, yes.
Fallout. Wait.
Oh, Jesus.
Settle down, Geralt, please. Come on, that's enough. Okay. Fallout 76 players unimpressed with the new $7 fridge.
It's $7.
That you can buy in game.
If I could buy a $7 fridge, I'd be pretty happy with that.
That's right. So this is the story on this one. Whoop, wrong browser. Okay. So, Fallout 76's latest patch hasn't gone down very well among citizens of post-apocalyptic West Virginia. The update brings with it some big changes to events, a new nuclear winter map, and a bunch of rewards, but it's the Atomic Shop editions that have ruffled feathers, inspiring a multitude of critical posts on the subreddit. Amid the new cosmetic items are a pair of utility items. The refrigerator lets you store food and drink to slow down the speed at which they spoil. Lol, that's pretty funny. And the Collectron Station, meanwhile, sends out a wee robots to search for scrap and junk. They cost 700 and 500 atoms, respectively.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about that. This poor robot has to go out and play Fallout 76.
Can you imagine?
Okay, now that's half the game, though. Going out and exploring and collecting stuff and bringing it back. So they're obviously like, people don't want to do this.
Yeah.
We'll just make people not have to do this, hence not have to play the game. That's pretty good. I like it, 76. But, like, I mean, yet again, we're seeing this. I mean, it continues to be the biggest meme. It hasn't been around for a while now. We haven't actually done a story on 76 for some time. Probably because we spanked it so hard. We're just like, let's just do something else for a while. But, like, you know, we've said this before. It's brand building mode. Don't make a $7 fridge, for God's sakes. Like, it should be like a free fridge. Fuck it. Yeah. This game is such a meme that it should be pretty much like, we'll give you guys as much as possible to build that goodwill back. But you know what? A lot of people in the community are saying that Fallout 76 is getting better. It is much better than it was when it originally released. So that is good, though. You know?
Yeah, that's true. But coming back to your earlier point about, like, you know, they should be doing this sort of stuff for free. That's exactly what the subreddit is saying. The subreddit is littered with posts saying that Robot Gatherer Refrigerator should be quest rewards, not Atom Store items.
Yeah.
Adding a new functionality behind additional payment is completely opposite to Cosmetic and Atomic Store Promise. So this comes back to earlier where, you know, Bethesda said at the launch of Fallout 76, all of the microtransactions will be cosmetic only.
Sure.
And it literally took them no more than a few months to go back on that promise by releasing, I forget what was the first thing
The first one that they did is they gave you slight stats, I believe.
That was XP boosts, I think?
Was it either an XP boost or was a slight stat buff for a limited time offer that was like an item that was only there for a little bit of time. I remember that. That was a few months ago. That was the first thing. Yong covered that. We didn't actually cover that, actually.
I remember.
But I learned all the information off Yong. Thanks,
right.
Yong. They've obviously done it, and it looks like they're doubling down now. They're making the experience a lot easier and a lot, better for players, but behind a paywall. And I agree with this Reddit post. Like, you're fundamentally changing the experience. You know, if you now don't need to go and venture out and find scrap, you're now fundamentally changing the way that I experience with that world, because I'll do other things in that world. Why is that behind a paywall? That sounds like a new feature that should be for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just so disappointing to the degree to which this game fucked up, and then now it's just happy to gouge players is just so unsettling. You know what I mean?
Can we just have a quick moment to be like, does anyone know what's going on with Diablo Immortal? I've seen some YouTube videos in the last month or so, and the thumbnail's like, it's never coming. I'm like, you know what? I kind of see that. Maybe it's never coming now. It'd be pretty interesting if they're like, what do you mean, Diablo Immortal?
Some guy gets up in like the next BlizzCon, like, what's happening with Diablo Immortal? And then the guy just pauses, like, what's that?
Yeah. The guy's like, BlizzCon! We want to use. Anyway, we'll see. But like, it'll be a giant man when it does come up. But what's next? Sea of Thieves!
Speaking of microtransactions, this next story is, it's interesting as well. So Sea of Thieves launched last year. God, it feels... Was it last year?
It feels like ages ago, because we played the beta at PAX Melbourne when we were first starting our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
on the pirate
ship. It was last year,
so
in February or March or something.
It's the year before, man.
No, it wasn't. No. So it's been out for like 18 months.
Oh, I see. Fine.
Yeah.
I'm talking about when we played it. Yeah. That's
so they're adding microtransactions to Sea of Thieves now. It's 25. It includes a £25 ship set.
It's $50 Aussie.
That's a lot of money, Australia. That's a lot of dollary dues.
What's that? What's that? God, we've memed it so many times now. That game coming out and you have to pay like $600 for a ship. What's it called?
Oh, Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. They're going down the path of Star Citizen, everybody. Good job, man. Like, it's gonna work.
Yeah.
It's the same point I just made before, actually, about like, brand building. It's a first party content, for God's sakes.
But like, okay, I think it's fundamentally a different example with Sea of Thieves and with Fallout 76. Because Sea of Thieves launched with... Okay, first of all, Sea of Thieves always said it would have cosmetic microtransactions in the game at some point. From launch, they always
Even if they've said that, the bottom line is, you are trying to sell units with interesting games on your Xbox platform. Don't worry about that shit. Your microtransaction that you are rewarded as a developer is people selling the units. Like, that's how it should be. Like the Gears thing, or like PlayStation, for instance. Like, They just want to make great games, and we might sound like Sony fanboys, but like Spider-Man, God of War, for God's sakes, like those are brilliant titles that sold like 9 million, 10 million copies, and you better believe it would have sold a lot of console units too. So that's the way that I think they should be positioning themselves.
I do agree.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, look, we've said this before. I don't understand why these guys want to double dip. This is an Xbox exclusive title, or like Microsoft exclusive, what do you want to call it? And you are selling microtransactions for that. It would be like, at the same time though, like there is a lot of content in this game now. The community really loves it. It has its ongoing thing. Like they have worked hard to get to the point where they've rebuilt a lot of their brand. Yeah. But yeah, it just feels like adding a cash shop is not really going to be what's going to propel this game into like the next territory.
I feel like it's such short-minded thinking in terms of like, oh, let's make a bit of money now, you know, off some monetization on the game. It should always be about like, if this is a first party title, how is this serving our brand, our console for the next 3-5 years? You know, that's what it should be all about. And I think that there's a reason why we're seeing Xbox fall so short, because, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's because monetization in first party content, but the quality overall with a lot of first party content with Xbox has not been as good as PlayStation.
For sure,
you
no
know?
doubt, no doubt.
And to double down with this whole like, microtransactions. Everyone knows microtransactions is a dirty word. So to couple, you know, games that are less quality than the PlayStation first titles with microtransactions, you're not doing yourselves any favors with trying to sell units as consoles.
I agree. And I guess it's also with Gears. Like we saw the Gears 5 microtransactions come out. They're selling bundles of currency for like $100 Australian dollars. You know what I mean? Like crazy stuff.
Wasn't it the biggest or something?
Actually, I think it was.
It was ridiculous.
It was like, dude, that's insanity. But anyway, that's how they're choosing to do it.
That's an Xbox, like, if it's like pre-owned. Like, that's a genuine Xbox.
Yeah, you can buy a pre-owned Xbox for $160. Yes, you can do that.
It's ridiculous. We haven't actually done any
super chats, so we'll do this quickly. Escapee reminded us at the beginning we have shield trackers enabled.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
We've turned that off now.
We had this guy, Kim Novak, $10. Always knew you guys were squares, but in a good, meme-worthy way.
He did it twice. I appreciate that.
Kim. King Chator with 10 New Zealand dollars says, I gave your mum a scathing review.
Thank you, man. Mum jokes never get old.
They're always fantastic.
I actually still do mum jokes, so it's all good.
Innocuous remark, $5. Bethesda promised cosmetic only and are now lying that it was not pay to win. Fallout is dead. Long live Fallout.
Yeah.
I'm confused about the long live Fallout part at the end, though. I don't know, man.
Maybe he's hoping that Fallout does come back.
I don't know.
I don't think it's going to. I wonder what Skyrim 6 is. Oh, Skyrim 6.
Skyrim 6. Guys, Skyrim 6.
Guys, Skyrim 6 is coming.
That's right.
I wonder what Elder Scrolls 6 is going to look like. It's going to be a giant... I mean, maybe it'll be really good, you know. Maybe that's the content that they won't touch. Maybe they'll be like, okay...
No, dude, don't be ridiculous.
You reckon?
They're going to charge so much money for bullshit. All the paid mods and stuff they're going to do in Elder Scrolls 6. Please. That's like... This has all been a warm-up round.
What was the first microtransaction?
That was Oblivion.
Okay, well, they've already done it. They've already set the trend. They're continuing. Next story, everybody.
So this one is actually pretty important, and I'm disappointed we didn't get a chance to cover this properly this week because we were busy, but this one actually matters. And that is that the UK wants to, or the Members of Parliament subcommittee, basically want to ban loot boxes or games with loot boxes for kids, and they also want to regulate microtransactions. So the Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee inquiry into addictive and immersive technologies heard stories of young adults who had built up debts of thousands of pounds through spending in games. Jagex, the company behind online game RuneScape, admitted players could spend up to £1,000 a week or £5,000 a month. But the MPs found the industry was reluctant to accept responsibility for intervening when a player was overspending or even put a figure on how much was too much. They said, and some had been willfully obtuse in answering questions about gameplay, which MPs needed to know in order to better understand how players engage with games. Without naming names, EA, they said they had sometimes found it difficult to get full and clear answers from the gaming industry representatives who had appeared before them, in particular when it came to answering questions about what data they collected, how it was used, and the psychology underpinning how games were designed. Now, this, obviously, you'll remember, was where we saw the birth of the brilliant surprise mechanics meme.
Yes.
This was actually in this subcommittee that they said that. So, like, this is exactly what they're referring to when they talk about, like, obfuscation, willfully obtuse, unwilling to share information. They're talking about EA, guys. They're just saying it.
About. Every time I hear obtuse, I always think of Shawshank Redemption. Always. always. Just a side bit, okay?
Okay.
And you know that Britney Spears song, when you hear Prerogative, always think of Britney Spears. Just a side thing again, people. Just so you know.
Okay, nice, Sam.
Thank you. But look, are they going to pass it? We've seen this stuff before. It's been dangled. Does it actually end up moving forward? Maybe. Now, the original stance that UK took was...
It was their regulatory body said.
But they did say that it's not... In our current wording of the law, it's not actually, breaking any laws and it doesn't warrant regulation.
Yep.
Now, I think they've come back and said, well, actually, we might need to change the wording to make sure that gaming fits that. And then we can regulate it. Will they end up doing it? I hope so. But maybe, we've seen this before. Like, Chris Lee, a lot of hype was behind it. He was the Hawaii senator. And it didn't really move forward because I just think there's a lot of cogs you've got to put on the wheel to get that moving, and then, it just kind of dies sometimes. I hope that doesn't happen here, though.
I totally agree. At the same time, this is the first time the UK has had a conversation like this, and a parliamentary committee has sort of put these sort of recommendations forward. There's a chance it could result in some laws, and it's also, I think it's probably a lot harder to get laws passed in somewhere like America versus somewhere like the UK, where kind of like, I don't know, it just feels like the UK, and actually that's not true. The UK is pretty divided as well at the moment. Like, I was going to say Australia, it feels like it's pretty easy to get things done around here most of the time. Yeah. But it definitely feels like in America, and I guess now with Brexit, they're kind of divided. Yeah. So I guess who knows how this kind of stuff goes with like actually getting laws passed. Either way, it would be nice if people could come together around the idea that like gambling with kids is bad.
Yeah,
if we could just agree, if politicians could just put aside differences and just be like, gambling for kids, bad. If they could do that, that'd be nice.
I just it's such a simple thing for me, it's gambling and there's children involved. Like, why has it been now 2 years since the Lootbox bonanza with the whole Star Wars Battlefront 2 thing? Why haven't we actually seen any changes apart from, Belgium and whatnot? Sure, we've seen a couple of countries. Smaller countries, let's be real. We haven't seen some bigger players that really can set the trend for gaming come out and go, yep, cool, we're making a stance on this. And I really thought in the last 2 years, since the Star Wars Battlefront 2 thing, that we would have seen bigger changes. But we haven't,
Yeah, I mean, change comes slowly when it comes to parliamentary stuff. So, but look, either way, the ESA has actually responded to this already. And surprisingly enough, the ESA is the industry body that actually represents the companies. They represent the shareholders.
Of course.
And they said basically the ESA strongly disagrees with this ruling. We take seriously the issues raised by the UK Parliamentary Digital Culture and Media and Sports Committee report, but strongly disagree with its findings.
Incredible.
A representative said, as demonstrated by the recent announcement of policies regarding the disclosure of relative rarity or probability of obtaining virtual items in paid loot boxes, as well as the robust parental controls that empower parents to control in-game purchases. The video games industry is a leader in partnering with parents and players to create enjoyable video game experiences. In addition, numerous regulatory bodies around the world, including those in Australia, France, Ireland, Germany, and the UK have come to the conclusion starkly different from that of this subcommittee. So clearly these guys do not give a fuck about any of the negative impacts of this kind of like gouging microtransaction practice.
Yeah.
They are 100% in the pocket. Like, they are literally run by the CEOs of the game publishers.
But I wouldn't expect anything different. Like, no. I was not, we're never going to see ESA being like, guys, we need to be like, getting rid of this loot box shit. Am I right, EA? No, that's not going to happen, dude. Of course they're going to say this shitty stuff. Remember that time when Chris Lee actually got that person from the ESA?
Yeah.
And he just sat there saying he does not know.
He has no idea.
He had no idea for 2 hours. Yep. That was a great meme.
Totally.
Anyway, next story. Oh, actually, let's go comment. Let's go.
We haven't done super chats for a while.
Let's do super chats.
So, what do we got here? We got $20 from Josh.
Oh, thank you.
Loot boxes should be gone. I miss the days of only having to pay for the game a single time, then buying separate X packs as time went on. By the way, 2K skeet all over their customers. Just saying. Okay, there you go. I do miss those days though, when you used to just buy a game and that would be it. Those were good times.
I mean, we actually haven't covered a lot of the 2K thing.
Well, we got that later on. My friend reefed to play Borderlands 3 because of Epic Gaming, but he owed me money, so I told him I would call it even if he got to come and play with me. Fair enough, said Morgan. $5. Thank you very much, friend.
Man. Appreciate you, love you.
Next skill up review. Sam plays piano in the background for $2. No way, man. Sam's gonna have to pay me a lot more than $2 if he wants to be featured in one of my reviews.
I would have done it for 50 cents.
Look at this. John died for $7. He got us a fridge.
Thank you. you so
Absolute
much.
bad lad.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank
Is
you, my
that,
friend.
I think, that's enough to buy a fridge.
That
I
is-
always don't know what conversion that is.
I think it would actually, that was $7 Australian, so I think that's not enough, because I think the fridge is $7 US.
I think, no, because the US, because it says...
Oh, that is US dollars. That's right. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Appreciate
That's
you. Love
it.
ya.
So, okay, let's keep moving on. Let's see what's next. This, I think, is also a really interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just make sure we get it right there, and then we'll switch over. Ubisoft will not return to creating shorter games, says CEO. Okay, this is...
Which I think is a bit of a shame.
Let's read the quote
let's
first.
read
Can we
it
read the
first.
quote first, Sec? Can we get the
You
news
do
done?
you.
Okay,
You do you.
thank you very much. Ubisoft will continue to focus on huge open-world games that take many hours to play, but has the goal to provide smaller-scale adventures within large worlds, says the company's CEO. Talking to GameIndustry.biz, Yves Guillemot said no to the question of if the company would ever return to games of the scale of Assassin's Creed Unity, in which the main story can be easily finished in around 15 hours. That's a very brief trip compared to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which on average took 60 hours of people's time. Can confirm, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Our goal is to make sure you can have a Unity, an Assassin's Creed Unity, within an Odyssey. So Gilmont, if you want to have a story of 15 hours, you can have it, but you can also have other stories. You live in that world and you pursue what you want to pursue. You have an experience many Unity-like experiences.
Okay.
So,
I mean, look,
what do you think about this idea, Sam?
I can see it can be potentially a good idea in terms of you're trying to give players more options as to how they want to experience that world. You want to potentially have a curated experience that's 15 hours, or you want to explore that world that they've created. Fine. I think it means longer development times, longer windows between each titles. It also pigeonholes them into every game they make now. It has to be a giant open world or something, where some games don't need to be that. And this is not the first time they've come out and made statements that pigeonhole them. A few months ago they were like, we only want to make games that'll have male and females. That's all well and good. At the same time, some games will, it's best to have a type of protagonist, a female protagonist or a male protagonist or whatever. Ubisoft constantly now is doing this where they make grandiose statements, but I think it's going to hurt them in the long run because they might just want to tell a story that creatively needs to be a bit smaller, or it needs to be a certain protagonist. You know what I mean? That's what I'm seeing with Ubisoft at the moment.
But I think what he's saying though is that
you can have both.
You can have both.
Taco meme.
But I just don't know that you can. None of the stories that I've seen so far in Ubisoft's open world games from this generation or what have you have been really standout, amazing stories. They've been cool and they've been fun because they're open world style games, but they just haven't been that good. I mean, you can do that with an open world game.
Red Dead 2.
I'm saying Ubisoft games, right?
Oh, sorry.
You can do that with an open world game, like Red Dead, like The Witcher, for sure, And then you've got your sort of semi-open world stuff like God of War, for example.
Sure.
But I just feel like Ubisoft here are really sort of tying themselves to the mast in a way that it just doesn't feel like it's necessary.
I completely agree, and I think a lot of game companies that I've seen, they think open world or a big world, it's like a marketing thing now. It's if, we're giving this giant world to explore, and they think that might tie into people thinking that it's, a better experience or whatever. It just becomes this marketing thing that they throw out.
Yeah.
But a bigger world does not mean that it's going to be a better game. Sometimes it's great to have a really, intimate, curated experience, and it doesn't have to have a giant world that you can just walk around in. And does that mean that...
you don't get Resident Evil 2 in an open world. You don't get Devil May Cry 5 in an open world. The best game I played this year is a game called Outer Wilds, which is literally an open universe, or open galaxy at least. But it's not an open worldy style, Ubisoft game. You don't get that kind of game with Assassin's, the Ubisoft style template. I don't know. I get where he's coming from this. I just feel like it's if you asked a computer to decide how games should be made, it would logarithmically arrive at, well, the logical conclusion is to make big worlds and then to create good stories in those big worlds. But I don't feel as though that's how this thing actually gets done.
I don't even know if the robot would say that. Maybe the robot would be like, well, I I don't know.
Wow, great improv, Sam. You just really, I mean, have you thought about applying for Saturday Night Live? I really thought you got a place there.
Say, but he would definitely not come to the conclusion of it has to be big world. Maybe he would just be like, I don't know what he would say.
No, but what I'm saying, it logically makes sense to say.
No, it doesn't.
If you create a big template world, it's space, then you can then invent whatever incredible story you like and put it on there using those game systems. Like, you could create The Witcher 3 inside Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You can do that. You know what I mean?
No, but like again, like what I'm saying is like the computer. Aside from the meme, like what we just had. The idea that the computer would naturally come to that conclusion. No, I don't think that the logical way of thinking in this is bigger world means that you can put a story within a bigger within a big world. I just don't agree that this way of thinking of Ubisoft is going to serve them in the future for a lot of titles, a lot of interesting ideas that they might come up with in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
They might not be able to properly execute that because now, you're right, they're tying themselves to the sail or they're pigeonholing themselves into this, well, we have a great idea, but we got to make sure we make a giant world around it.
I agree.
It might not serve it, man.
Yeah, because there could be, like, some of the best games, like a game like Inside, for example, or Limbo, those 2D side-scroller stuff, but just visually stunning. They have such a poignant narrative presence, and they literally go for like 3 hours in these tiny little worlds. You know, I just worry that Ubisoft won't be able to create those experiences, you know, because they, you know...
Just Dance open world.
Child of Light was a Ubisoft game that's very much in that category as well, and I wonder if they'll say no to something like Child of Light because of that, and they're like, no, this is not what we do anymore, you know? So... Personally, I feel as though this is a sad thing for them to say. I really do feel that.
Totally.
I get that it's cool we get more Odyssey, but I think it's shitty that we won't also get other surprise small stuff because I just feel as though that's so much amazingness happens in those smaller moments. But yeah. Anyway, let's get back to super chats now, guys. We had Cole Rouse, $5 for some absolute mad lads.
Thank you, mate.
Who are the mad lads, by the way? You didn't specify. Just let us know.
Who the mad lad is.
Hype, $50 from Hype. Thank you very much.
you.
It's a real shame that games causing violence get so much legwork in the media, but unregulated loot boxes are proven to be hurting an entire generation of kids. Regulation can't come soon enough.
I agree with that.
100% on point. Hype.
Yes.
Because
because you know what? It's not as sexy news. That's the thing, you know?
Maybe the
Gun
media will
violence.
catch up. I mean, they're sort of catching up now. They're like, there's the Fortnite, you know, a current affair Fortnite
Sure.
bit. So like,
Yeah, current affair,
little
though.
Jimmy plays so much Fortnite that his mum doesn't know what to do. And then it cuts to the mum like, sometimes I get home and he's playing until 8 o'clock at night.
I don't know what my credit card is.
That's right. Josh Ott with $20 says, I pay you $50 to burn the Anthem hat live on stream.
Guys, I don't know.
Nah, man, that's worth way more than $50.
This is going to go out of print soon. We know
Yeah,
that.
it'll be just
So this is going to be
expunge.
memorabilia.
Yes, totally. No way, $50, man. But I appreciate you trying, though. Brad Crowley with $10 says, Laymen Gaming is now in my weekly budget. Thank you very much for the content, lads, from Townsville, North Queensland.
Oh, thank you.
My wife lived in Townsville for a while.
Oh,
I went
nice.
there,
That's
nice
right.
place. Bit
Yes.
hot, but it was a nice place. Lego, $5. Hi, Ralph. It was cool tuning into your Borderlands 3 stream. Thank you for being there. The game looked alright, but it was so much fun messing with you with the Twitch extensions. That's a really cool feature, by the way.
That's true, you were saying
If
that.
anyone doesn't know this with Borderlands, if you watch a streamer, every time they level up, they get this pinata, and then the chat can actually vote on what's in the pinata, and sometimes they can vote to like buff enemies. So one time, this enemy, my chat just jacked it to the nines, and this enemy was just like a raid boss. We wailed on this guy for like 15 minutes trying to bring him down, and the chat was just lolling the whole time. So that was a really cool feature. I like that a lot.
I agree with what you were saying in terms of on your tweet. It's definitely going to be reproduced with other games.
Yes.
And if it's going to be a huge success, I'd love to see that with other games. You know, it'd be really, really interesting. But anyway.
Sensu Sensei says, Ralph, I'm sorry the Devil May Cry community gave you hate. I'm a diehard DMC fan, and I think you're great. Layman for life. Thank you very much.
We'll come back
Layman
for life.
We'll come back to that later.
Good.
And $5 Nak Bogan, Thomas the Tank Engine theme plays. Why
We
not?
would play it now, but it gets copyright strikes.
It will copyright strike.
I've tried to put it in video before.
So here's an interesting little story as well. We'll go to the next one.
Yes,
Call of Duty. Okay, one of the things that a lot of people have been asking us lately is like, are you guys pumped up for the new Call of Duty?
The
And
answer
I'm like,
is no.
Not really. No, not
Would
really.
you like to play it again? No.
I mean, like, I plan to play it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, of
like,
course
just
play
whatever.
it.
But I have no excitement for it because
Yeah.
I know that at the end of the day, that game will become, like, just this microtransaction hellscape. Just completely jacked and on every corner with microtransactions.
Sure.
And I think they've been trying to make a bit of a deal so far that we're not going to see microtransactions in COD at the beginning, but very careful wording, of course, where there's no loot boxes at the start. obviously in the beta, this has already been revealed that there
Yeah.
are going to be microtransactions.
And there's going to be loot boxes.
Yeah, so one of the menus that people found, the after action report, is that it mentions common supply drops. Supply drops is what COD calls their loot boxes.
Well, actually, it says loot box on top of that.
Oh, it does say loot box. They didn't even see the word loot box.
It does say loot box. So
they're just
can confirm loot box.
they're not even trying to hide it either. They're just like, what should
I
we call it
respect
this
that,
year?
actually, COD. I respect that. No, but I think that, we've said it before. I would not tune in now for a Call of Duty game based on how they monetized the previous one. I think a lot of people jumped on with the previous COD, Black Ops 4, and was like, cool, this looks like they're trying to, revitalize COD and give it a new, interesting idea. I just, but I'm done with it. Personally, I'll jump on and actually do it for a review, but I'm done with it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I think I will play COD, and I'm sure I'll have some fun for the campaign. But I definitely have no expectation that I will play it at all after I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Because, I just know what they're going to do with this game in the future. You know, and I think that's where my limits with COD are.
Yeah, I feel like it has no soul now. With Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, it was like, there was, this massive hype behind it. It was like, it was giant. It was bigger than freaking Fortnite back in the day. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone and their dog played it. There was a sense of like it was pushing the industry forward. It was doing, interesting ideas. Now it's like that kind of like the same old thing. Yes, there is a small evolution that's happened, but it really feels like the emphasis now is how do we monetize this, not how do we make this again one of the games that everyone plays.
I mean, to be fair though, it seems like they are doing some interesting stuff narratively with this COD. Like, they're going for that really gritty realism thing, and I really look forward to that. That's something that actually does pique my interest.
At least they're doing a campaign, because last time
that's true.
they did not do a campaign.
But in fact, it's like the new COD is like so gritty that some journalists are calling for it to be censored. They're like, this is too much.
Do you remember last time when we saw the cutscene of COD?
Yeah,
and
it was
that
full on.
Woman's face was like hanging off and shit.
Yeah.
That was really intense.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
So, but I really like the idea that COD is willing to try and be edgy and sort of like we're perfectly comfortable with movies giving us these realistic portrayals of war, but when a video game does it, like video game journalists are like, whoa, man, hang on a second, I don't know about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that part actually interests me. Like, I'm interested to see how far they go with
it. It could
that.
be cheap edgy though. It could be like, here's some heaps of gore and now that makes it edgy. But it could be an interesting way they put it forward that the gore really gives it a realistic, environment.
Yeah, but it's not just gore. It's like proximity to civilians and showing how warfare has an impact on civilians,
which is an interesting idea.
Which video games never talk about. They just completely ignore that fact. You know what I mean? It's always just like everyone on screen dies. You know. So do I have the idea that you've got people there that shouldn't die or that could die by your actions? That's interesting. You know. So
but again,
for
sure. But again, I just think a lot of people have been bitten now. And now are shy twice because they're just like. We jumped on COD. Black Ops 4 looked great.
Yeah.
Then they monetized it horrendously. And a lot of people were like, oh, cool, I forgot this was Activision. That's right, see you later. You know?
For sure.
So I think this new one is going to have problems where it's, again, going to have an uphill battle with a community that is angry with it. Because it's like...
I just think it's going to be exactly the same as before, which is like, it's going to sell an absolute truckload.
Yeah,
people are going to be like, this is cool. Then, people lose interest. Then the monetization begins. They'll be like, your hardcore COD fans are going to stick with it and pay anyway. Yeah. And then the cycle continues where next year they'll find some new edgy angle to trick people into pay attention to COD. Do you know what I mean?
You can now use cats, not just dogs. But I think that...
What the fuck?
There was dogs in there.
I remember.
Now there's cats, okay? I don't know what the noise came from, but anyway. But so I don't know where I was going with that. But Call of Duty is going to be... Oh, that's what I was going to say. Last thing before we move on. The difference here, I think, with the last COD, where it actually signed up a lot of hardcore gamers again. People were like, oh, cool, let's give this a go.
That's true,
the new one is going to pretty much be for casuals, I think. And hardcore COD fans.
I don't know. I do feel as though that kind of more gritty realism will capture more attention than you think.
Maybe.
But I do feel as though, I think that's a really good point. I do feel as though Black Ops 4 actually caught the attention of the broader gaming audience, where COD was very often just looked down on, that sucks, COD, lol, what a meme. But I think core gamers were like, okay, you actually did a good job with this COD.
Yeah.
But then after that, they fucked it up. And I think that it's sort of fool me once, shame on you kind of thing.
Fool me twice, shame on...
You can't fool me again, right? So,
bush memes.
bush memes. They're perfectly safe. We're allowed to make those without triggering the comment section. So, we've got here Brian Hurley with $14.
Oh, thank you.
Here's enough for 2 fridges. Oh. You can stick Todd Howard in one and keep the other for your food.
Can we get enough for 100 fridges?
Shut up, Sam. Scott Carroll, $5. What do you call 2 blokes standing in a window? Kurt and Rod. Will you be playing Shadowkeep?
What?
Is it a wordplay that we're not getting?
I don't know. Next, we're happy to hear some more jokes. That's okay with us,
I'm so confused. Kurt and Rod?
Kurt and Rod.
Standing in a window. Well played.
Got us.
Scott, well played.
No, it's
Will we be playing Shadowkeep? Yes. I'll be reviewing Shadowkeep. Sam will be playing it as well. We'll do some impressions on Laymen.
Cool.
Lego, one more thing with Borderlands 3. Look up the shield overflowing Moxie's embrace. It's a wonderful homage to Randy, I think. Haha, I don't know what that is. But we will check it out. Lego, thank you very much for the $5. So, let's keep moving now. The next story is, Epic Games bad, but not Apple Games bad.
Apple Games just as bad or more bad?
So, Epic has been getting a lot of hate lately, obviously, for buying up exclusives. Apple just announced their Apple Arcade, which is like Apple Game Store, I guess, but sort of more than just the App Store. It's like things. And they have announced one of the exclusives they're going to get is Exit the Gungeon, which is actually one of the most highly rated games on all of Steam.
I read this morning when I woke up and I was like, Exit the Gungeon? They've spelled it wrong. Exit the Dungeon, duh.
So it was Enter the Gungeon and now it's Exit the Gungeon, which is the sequel, is, obviously very, very critically acclaimed. Dunkey did a fantastic video on it. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's really good. But yeah, Apple is now in the business of buying up exclusives, or at least timed exclusives. Yeah. And that's going to be interesting to see where that goes.
We've really seen the flow-on effect of this now. I think a lot of people might have thought, oh, well, Epic Games bad, but, whatever. It won't have a flow-on. It won't have a big effect. It's clearly having a big effect. Do I think that Apple would have got exclusivity over games if we hadn't seen the trend? Start with Epic Games, then go to Stadia, now to Apple? Probably not.
I don't think you can say that Epic Games started the exclusive trend, though. I feel like if anything, it's like before then, consoles had exclusives.
Yeah, but that's a different thing.
I know that, but I think it's more now just like streaming, like, streaming content like Netflix or whatever. There's a real exclusives battle that's happening there. It looks like now Games is trying to sort of catch up to that model, where they're going to have lots of different providers and subscription services and whatever else that each have their exclusive titles. So, yeah, this guy obviously would have got a boatload of money from Apple.
Apple has no money. What are you talking about?
He's an indie dude. Mm-hmm. Absolute no judgments there. Like, if you get a massive paycheck that's going to guarantee the future of your studio, your game, that makes sense. He didn't owe anyone. Like, he didn't say, oh, it's definitely coming to Steam or whatever else.
Yeah,
there was no
wasn't a Kickstarter. Yeah.
It was just his own thing, and he makes his own decisions. Fair play to him, I say.
We've discussed this before, and I think that, when you are a small developer and cash is tight, you have big dreams and you have big ideas of what you'd like to, create in the future in terms of gaming. We completely understand where you're coming from. If a big company's like, here's $1 billion, we get it.
Like Apple, if you're looking for exclusive content creators,
Laymen Apple.
It could work,
I have an Apple, I promise. Go Samsung. But it's different with like Borderlands and shit. These bigger companies that like sign exclusivity. It's like, dude, you didn't need that, And I think it's a case by case. That's what I'm ultimately saying. So anyway, Apple gaming. Let's see if that actually takes off.
Yep. Next story actually is their quick super chat. We got here's some money to feed your expensive rhino milk habits.
Thank you,
says Brayden.
That's
How did you
nice.
know about that? We never discussed that publicly, but obviously you knew.
Now
Munchman, $5. This message now available in War Chest. Open more for a chance to see this message in chat. Thank you very much, Munchman.
And a new member.
And he became a member.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So, all right, now let's have a look at the latest meme that we can expect.
Play this? Can we just show this actor?
The whole thing is. This guy has a lot of intensity. Okay, let's just see if we can. Let's listen to this guy.
Hey everyone! Last week we released this video. You saw some people moving their bodies, doing some kind of activity,
and having a pretty good laugh. Truthfully, they were playing a brand new adventure game for Nintendo Switch.
Oh my god, calm down.
Look at this guy.
It's an adventure game first and foremost, but you'll actually be moving your body.
I mean, I'm sorry.
It's like so robotic. It's like
I'm sorry, but like Mark Zuckerberg's like robotic cousin.
Guys,
That's who that is.
they're testing new cyborg technology in this video.
Honestly,
like,
that's where all the online money's going for Nintendo Online.
Yep.
To fucking robots, man.
will humans be able to tell the difference? This guy looks like Michael Fassbender, the robot, like
Yes!
from Aliens, if he's on the fritz.
He does.
He really does. So
He's on the fritz.
he's definitely on the fritz.
He just looks cooked. You know?
So either way, look, we've got this new thing here from Nintendo, and it's actually like an exercise kind of thing where
Yeah.
you strap one piece to your leg, and then there's this thing that you
I
hold.
mean, we should try this on Laymen, actually. That'd be interesting.
I think we should definitely do that.
We should do that.
And yeah, so obviously what you do in the real world will translate through into games. It's basically an exercise tool, which, you know, the Wii did really well out of their Wii Fit board.
Which
back
I
in the
wasn't
day.
aware of. I didn't think that the Wii Fit did as well as you said it did.
Oh, it sold through the roof because
Yeah.
they got Olivia Newton-John advertising for it.
Sure.
And all these mothers, because I used to work at EB Games then, and all these mothers would come in and be like, "Oh yes, I'd like the Olivia Newton-John fitness thing, please."
Yeah, for my son.
And then you'd be like, "No, for them." And then
I
I'm like,
know
"Oh,
that, but they don't want to say.
But then I would say, "Okay, you know, you need a Nintendo Wii as well, right?" And they're like, "What's that?" Like they would have to buy the console and the thing because
Wow.
they were that's how much this thing sold. So Nintendo knows that they make a lot of money if they can make a successful fitness product.
I think there. Look, the thing about fitness games, there isn't a lot around. I mean, Beat Saber is a secret fitness game.
VR actually is pretty good when it comes to fitness games. Yeah.
But in terms of fitness games, there isn't a big market for it. Can you think of many games that like you have to break
No.
a sweat to get through this level?
Definitely not.
It's an interesting concept. and
Expert Fire and Flames on Guitar Hero. That's
I remember
about
when you
it,
used to
know?
see Alec on the thing like this. God, he would cook up a sweat.
He
everybody.
definitely would.
Anyway, yeah, interesting. I mean, if it takes off, cool. Maybe we'll see other games that do it. And I mean, I would jump on daily if there was an interesting game that broke me into a sweat. And I would. I swear to
you
God,
fucking wouldn't.
I would.
You lazy shit. You
I would.
would not. You'd have like 30 seconds. You'd be like, "I need to smoke, man."
Yeah,
You know?
I need one too.
That's
But
right.
interesting. Let's see what they do.
So,
we got 45 DK coins again. Thank you so
we
much.
did we?
Should we do that again quickly?
We got the Colton DK.
Yes.
Is it Colton DK? It is Colton.
Colton
I didn't even
DK.
guess.
Thank
you
you.
very much. 45 Donkey Kong coins. Nintendo's new project isn't a game or a console, but it's a cyborg. That's what they were really demoing. The
That's
cyborg
it.
tech.
Yeah.
John Diaper, $7 for another fridge so you could chill your cane toad meat.
Thank
That's
you.
disgusting.
I would actually eat cane toad meat once.
Also, please do more casino clips. It is one of our favorite movies.
Oh, that was a nice little meme. I remember that one when the GTA Online casino came out. Good times.
And Hans with £1. Thank you very much,
$1.
friends.
Thank
so,
you.
let's keep moving. We're nearly, we're getting to the end of it, guys. You're not going to believe your eyes and your ears, but this is a true thing that's actually coming out.
The Dirty
it's
Bird.
actually happening. Dirty Bird.
I wonder if
is
they call it the
releasing-
Dirty Bird.
No, Americans don't call it. Australians call KFC Dirty Bird.
The Dirty
That's just
Bird.
what we call it. You can guess as to why. They are releasing an official dating sim. It's a thing where you can date the Colonel or date at the KFC restaurants, I guess. This is a real thing. It's called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator.
Jesus, a finger-licking good.
I mean,
I mean
really-
that's interesting.
Yeah,
you know?
that's terms of service right there, baby. That's it. They were really embracing the meme.
Interesting. Only allowed on Steam, you know.
Only allowed on Steam.
They
Epic
allow
Games are
everything,
like,
man.
No, thank you. You can
Yeah.
have that one, Steam.
I mean, like,
I'm so excited for this, by the way.
I kind of want to play it.
I'm
I mean,
100% reviewing this.
maybe we should do an impressions
Yes,
on,
we
and I
definitely
just
do need
meme
to.
the hell out of it.
It's really going to be a tough race between this and Super Seducer 2.
And Colonel looks like a stud muffin.
He does actually, like,
He's a
you know,
good-looking dude.
He
you
does
know?
not eat much of his own product if
I
he's
don't
looking that
think
good.
he touches much of the chicken.
Because there's no way you'd keep that sort of figure if you did. So,
Yes,
Either way,
yes.
I'm down for this. You can expect a full-on layman / chill-up review when it gets released because, I mean, why not? Like, it looks
It looks sick, guys. I'm keen for it, and I'm sure we're going to see many interesting-looking people with barely wearing anything. I wonder if we're going to see the Colonel naked. Okay, I want to know that by the end of the game.
Strip poker with the Colonel.
That'd be
you
pretty
know.
cool. I'm keen.
So, here we go. Now, from some happy news to some sad news. GameStop is closing 180 to 200 underperforming stores globally this year. So this was actually leaked earlier by someone else who had a very reliable track record of leaks for GameStop. It's been confirmed now. During the call, GameStop CFO James Bell praised the company over 5,700 stores worldwide, stating that 95% of them were profitable. Nonetheless, the company is beginning to roll out an ongoing plan that will result in even more store closures in the next 2 years. While that is an impressive statistic, we have a clear opportunity to improve our overall profitability by de-densifying our chain.
De-densifying.
Wow. That's beautiful, man.
I love that.
Corporate language is
Bang
just...
words. What are they called? Zinger words, you know, or something. Anyway.
Corporate buzzwords?
Yeah, buzzwords.
Zinger words. Right, you got
Zinger.
KFC on the brain,
I got
bro.
KFC, man.
The work is well underway. We are on track to close between 180 and 200 underperforming stores globally by the end of this fiscal year. And while these closures were more opportunistic, we are applying a more definitive analytical approach, including profit levels and sales transferability, that we expect will yield a much larger tranche of closures over the coming 12 to 14 or 24 months.
Okay, look.
So, look.
Out of 5,700 stores to close 180 to 200, I don't think it's doomsday stuff. It's bad, of course. A lot of people are going to be losing their jobs. I'm not trivializing that.
Yeah.
Do I think that GameStop is in immediate danger? No. But do I think in the future? Yes.
A share price fell $15 on that news as well, out of its earnings call. I mean, look, it looks like pretty rocky times for GameStop as a business. I remember that we talked about that sort of, remember that
recently.
The Big Short investor who shorted the housing market.
I wonder if he's saying that now.
No, he's still going long on GameStop. He thinks it's going to pick up, and it kind of makes sense in the sense that there's another console generation coming soon. People are going to need to go into stores to buy their consoles. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Yeah, but like, you know, when you sign up for, when you buy stocks, you're not really looking to cash in 3 years. It's like a long-term thing usually.
I think that GameStop will last a few more years, but I don't know if it'll last much longer after that. Obviously, it's like the secondhand market that really keeps this thing propped up. People love trading in their games. They love buying discounted secondhand games.
Yeah, sure.
So that is a huge thing.
It's a double whammy there. I think number one, streaming will pick up and digital sales are picking up, right? That's two things there that they have to compete with. When streaming becomes more and more of a thing, 5G networks get across the world. In 5 years' time, a lot of people, especially a lot of casuals and stuff, like if they could just jump on their phone and play FIFA and whatnot, like they'll just do it, you know? I don't know if this, you know, GameStop has 5-10 years. I would say 3 years, we're gonna start seeing them going, oh, we're actually in big problems. Because out of nowhere, when streaming platforms all come out within like a 6 or 8 month period, which is probably going to happen. After Stadia, we're going to see the EA one, we're going to see the Xbox Project X Cloud. It's all going to come out within 8 months, I reckon. And that is going to be like a seismic shift in the industry. I really do think that.
I definitely agree with you. I mean, I would love it if GameStop were to survive. You know, they're not the best company, but I worked for them, and like they provide
EB Games,
they provide a good service to people. Like, there's just a lot of people that love coming into their local game store to talk about games. I had so many customers that would just hang out at the counter just talking about games with me. Most of them were annoying. Some of them are pretty cool. Some of them I'm like,
are you saying gamers are annoying?
Some of them
oh my god, guys.
Insulting our audience.
Okay.
Some of them were super cool, and I had a really good time meeting those customers and talking to them about their passion and whatever else, and I love that. It's nice to know there is a spot where people can go, like a physical place that people can go to like buy games, talk about games, whatever else. It would be sad if that's lost.
There will always be a market for that. I just think it'll be a lot smaller. Do people now go to, you know, to buy DVDs? Some do.
Yeah.
But 90% of people don't.
There's like some little video store in like Potts Point, Sydney, or like Surrey Hills.
Yeah.
It's just like sells
and JB
like...
Hi-Fi still does it for the mums and dads and stuff that just, you know, might not be hip to Netflix and whatnot.
For
but
sure.
Over the next couple of years, I think that we're going to see a huge change.
Lucas Santiago, $5. Shawnee Boy, Unfamous, love the Layman. Thank you very much, Lucas.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Adrian Malone, $10. Whatever happened to the spider that was crawling on your sweater? We took him home, actually. He's
home.
one of our pets
He's now giant.
We're going to put him through school soon.
Yeah.
He'll,
I rode him here.
Rotten Tanuki, $2. Hey, chat, do you know what Day One Patch Kids is? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that
David
is.
Nicholas, $2. This is nothing new.
Retail is dying.
GG Amazon.
Yep.
That is true.
Yep.
That is true.
There was one more, Ralph. You missed it.
Was there?
I think so.
What's up? Almost missed you guys. Thank you very much, Goku.
Goku, another
Thank you very much,
$2.
dude.
Thanks, man. I saved you then. Ralph was going to ignore
That's right, I was
you.
going to ignore the Goku.
But the fam
just like
never
Smash ignores the Goku. But anyway, that's a whole other story. So, let's keep moving. Did you guys know that NBA 2K20 is now the second lowest rated game on all of Steam? On all of Steam. Not just like in the last month or whatever. In all of Steam, it's the second lowest
Well,
game.
it says 14% votes, right? So isn't that mean it's tying?
No, that's 14% upvote, like saying it's positive.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
So, yes, it's now NBA 2K20. If anyone hasn't heard, you would have heard about the Lootbox stuff and the casino stuff. You would have seen the ridiculously disgusting commercials they put out that basically just made the game look like a casino. On top of that, the game is also in a terrible technical state. I remember
It's just a copy and paste so much so that in the bottom of the taskbar when you open 2K,
oh yeah, that's right.
It did show 2K19 still.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, it's like. And EA did that recently, didn't they?
They did that with Madden as well.
Yeah,
but the major issues with this game are more about the sort of like the network and like the server infrastructure and stuff, where people are playing games and they don't get their progress saved, constant disconnects, ridiculous lag, animation loops because like there's server desync, all sorts of stuff. People say it's the worst quality NBA 2K release they've ever seen. At one point, fixed NBA 2K20 was trending on Twitter with a lot of tweets circulating. Not just a small trend; it was a pretty big trend at that point. People going absolutely nuts. I saw a lot of very angry tweets, like people just filming their reactions to shit, which is hilarious. So obviously, it really sucks for NBA 2K fans, but.
Look, I'm glad,
2K, man.
I'm glad this has happened. I don't wish any game to go badly, but what I'm saying is it's great to see that it has been downvoted so harshly. Do I think it's because it's the technical issues? I personally don't. I think it's because the monetization is the
next...
next...
It's the technical issues.
I mean, maybe a little bit of it.
No,
but
is. I'm telling you it is.
You'd think that, but a lot of people would have been like, fuck this, these microtransactions, this gambling shit. I'm going to go to Steam and downvote this shit.
I mean, I don't think
so. Part of the whole thing.
Yeah, sort of. But I feel like NBA 2K fans, if you speak to them, they don't really care that much. Like a lot of sports fans do not give a fuck about this because they just don't pay attention to it. They're like, that's what it is.
And they're not going to also care if there's some technical issues.
Yes, they will, because they can't play the game.
Sure. But it's going to be the people moving in droves like we've seen with other games, that when they're angry with a game, monetization-wise, or maybe exclusivity-wise, they jump on Steam and they review bomb that shit. It's not because the game is technically having issues.
Sam.
I think it's because they're those issues.
I'm telling you, it's because the game has...
Ralph doesn't actually know this. Anyway,
let's keep moving on before Sam embarrasses himself any further.
I think a lot of people will agree with that. Anyway, let's continue.
Final story, just to finish on a high note. We haven't done any EA bad this time, so it's important we have a little bit of EA bad.
Actually, it's also like top stuff. It's like another Guinness World Record.
It is.
2K was top 2 now of the worst games.
That's right. So EA's infamous defense of Battlefront 2's awful grind wins a Guinness World Record. We're so proud of you, EA. So here we go. Reddit user Amasha spotted the record in the latest edition of the Guinness Book of World Records and shared a picture on Star Wars subreddit. I'd already known that particular comment was the most downvoted comment in Reddit. I had no idea it outpaced the second most downvoted comment by more than 600,000 votes. So this, the comment here that about pride and accomplishment, we remember that golden, that little nugget. It is now the most downvoted in gaming history, in Reddit history. That's it, 683,000 downvotes, man. Respect.
It deserves every bit of it, everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Next one will be Diablo Immortal.
I don't know, man. You're really fixated on Diablo Immortal.
I really want to see it.
Yeah.
I'm really keen for it.
So,
anyway,
look, guys,
thank you all the people that watch. We've got a lot of people watching today, actually.
Let's
we do appreciate that.
If we actually missed any of the super chats, let's see. We had any other ones?
Yeah, we got a $50 one up a little bit.
That was a while ago. We got that one.
We did?
I think we did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
I see. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, from Hype. Sam needs to play Warcraft 3 before Cyberpunk comes out. I'm assuming give me Witcher 3, but yes.
Warcraft 3, I'm on it. Don't worry.
Yes,
I'm on it.
They still have to... They're going to release their Warcraft Reforged.
Where is that?
I mean,
we're going to see it at BlizzCon. We're going to see it at BlizzCon.
So, all right, guys. Well, look, that's Laymen Live for the
guys.
week. It's been a good week. And this is actually the last Laymen Live for the next fortnight. That's 2 weeks, not the game. Sam's going to be away in Tokyo next week.
But the week after.
Yeah, so I'm saying...
yes.
This is the last one for the next fortnight.
Yeah.
So that means we're not going to have Laymen Live next week, but we will have one the week after
Hence,
that.
fortnight.
We'll be back on deck. No videos this week either. We might do our Borderlands impressions.
We'll do the Borderlands
before Sam heads off, and after that we'll take a week off Laymen and just chill out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be live on Twitch most days playing Borderlands and whatever else I can play. Whoops, I just burped. Nice.
Lovely.
Beautiful. And Sam, anything you want to say before we finish up?
I'm gonna have a great time in Tokyo. I think Mario Circuit touring, Mario Kart touring comes out while I'm in Tokyo. We might be doing something kind of cool for that if we have the right equipment and if we're able to do it.
Sure.
But we'll see. We'll check it out, guys. Thank you so much. Love you. Appreciate you.
And
see you in 2 weeks.
Ashk Jagadesh says, you guys are my favorite gaming YouTubers since the old school Hutch, Sark, Sianas, and Woody. I don't know who they are, but they must have been cool dudes.
They must have not been as cool as us.
Thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you very soon.